Yo, what is good? My anime faithful, what is good, yo? So, my hero, coming back and being relatively the best when the villains are seemingly here. I am absolutely shocked at how much uh, characteristics like got put into the villains and making them actually seem like worth watching characters, you know? So I'm pretty surprised in that grand scheme, but at the same time, um, seeing this animation alone, you can almost forget about like any of the details of these characters when it looks just so dang beautiful at times, man. Um, from going from night eyes or yeah, night eyes or yeah, night owl. I'm sorry, I'm doing this way too early. It's like 3 a.m. Because of this one, this thing just dropped for some reason. But seeing him and having our main character being in a position to not only learn more about All Might, but at the same time getting this, well, he didn't, Deku didn't hear it, but getting this bomb from All Might telling us that the person that really is working for this sidekick of All Might is close to, or he was close to being the person that would have took up his quirk if it came down to it, and he never met Midoriya, which is pretty interesting in its own like rights in the case of the story, and the author pretty much just told us like Daikun not only is like a gun-ho kid and did all those different things, but he went so as far to inspire All Might that he had a perfect candidate and kind of just threw it away. And I think that's going to be one of those parts of the story that the what if he gave it to him for a lot of people, because if we do talk about that, let's be honest, this kid would have probably already almost been the symbol of peace already, if not uh, close to it, if All Might still had that little bit of a flame in him and everything transpired the same way, which it wouldn't, just because he already had a quirk. And with another one like All Might's, would have made him stupid broken, like absolutely monstrous. So I like that little bit of subtle information drop, as you will, where all of a sudden you're just thinking this is an episode where Dekun's about to find a new tutor and get some brownie points to getting closer to becoming a full-time hero and all this stuff. But it really turns out that we learn more about All Might and his secrecy towards his power, and who already was a true candidate at the end of the day, which makes a lot of sense why All Might is now putting him in a position to be like, okay, now that you have this understanding, or like now that I have this understanding that I can't go back, like I can't go and choose a successor now, you know, like it's already set in stone and it's happening. So what he can do is hope that anything he saw within this kid, the big three, will actually rub off on Deku and actually show at least some more of reasoning and hope towards All Might's main goal, I think, of getting Deku up to the tippity top. And I truly do love the little bit of a pause and thought process of him for the first time, not just taking the words of All Might and recycling it, but you know, saying something that really does add up to what he's been talking about, add up to what he's really been trying to push forward to. So it's these types of things that give me like chills and goosebumps, because I never know what actually going to transpire in these moments, So if they do go all out and give us some ridiculous story throughout it, I'm gonna be a pretty happy camper. But if it's one of those things where you're just kind of like, oh, and then it's not, nothing else happens, oh, that sucks, if they don't really play off of it. But the one thing I do want to go back to is in the video on the conversation of the villains. Like I said in the beginning, they get so much character and they're amazing to watch, but at the same time, it's strange to me that everything that they've gone through and everything that they continuously still go through is something that makes them stronger and so much more dangerous. So if they do fail again, I can only see them getting stronger from every mistake. Just like All for One is saying while in a jail cell, somehow knowing that his student may have failed again or may have succeeded regardless, something doesn't feel right to him, so he starts speaking into his head, hoping that the message goes to him because by God, did Overhaul just make a statement for, hey, I'm the best villain on the show right now, and I do take lives. And then we're like, oh, okay, so you're gonna truly just start destroying people and blowing them in half and not really caring. Got it. He's like, nah, I don't just do that. I also just walk away like I'm cool, like it's cool. And oh, and I also take arms. Like I'll take anyone's arm who touches me. Not only that, we get to see practically like every single member probably that he has on his beck and call. He called one of the people Shield. Like they don't even have a name. They're just called Shield. So the main reason for this meetup was supposedly our guy with hands all over his face is straight up trying to get more and more people to fight for his cause, to fight against the heroes, to become the tops, the lead of villains. And the one that has like the most Deadpool-ish type of style, where he has like multiple personalities talking within his head. Not only that, his quirk was like, I think, I can't remember. I think it might be a spoiler already if I said it, so I just caught myself. But his quirk being the one where he can make copies of himself definitely has something to do with his weird mind, and how he like seemingly talks to himself at times when we saw him. So I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things that can come with this season already, and to think that we just watched Overhaul and the main master of the lead of villains right now straight up take out two, just I guess henchmen, you can just call them, like at this point the people that we had seen on the lead of villains at least had some like characteristic and some background that we could learn about them. And this guy literally scraped his elbow and killed him. Like that was it. He literally had one little flashback of something he remembered, and then they just called it quits after that. So it's getting pretty dangerous to be even in this show now, and I kind of like that feeling more than, oh, All Might's gonna punch you so hard he's gonna send you to jail while you're unconscious. Like villains don't care. They'll just take your life because you looked at them wrong or you approached them the wrong way. So looking forward to seeing what they actually bring to the table as a whole, because now that we see them doing this, it's pretty clear that um, anybody that's gonna step up, that's a hero, should be in big trouble. Oh, and the big thing that I noticed was this guy who really couldn't be touched and really couldn't be like calmed and state like actually held down, was somehow easily held down. And it's because of some bullet that our main guy somehow just like got lucky and dodged or something. So because he didn't get hit by this bullet, he didn't lose the ability to control his quirk. Like as soon as this jester guy gets hit by this bullet, he couldn't just like float away or get away, like all the ways he did with the kids. All of a sudden, he's stuck in place and an easy target. So it was crazy to see that. But it also makes sense because somehow this guy is the ranked second biggest villain. I think was right behind All for One. So I mean, it would be kind of weak if he came in and just kind of fell in line. So really interested to see what people are feeling about this week. This was probably the most brutal episode that's ever dropped on My Hero, and people were freaking out about some girl that her bust size changed from one size to another. I wonder if they're even going to react or care that a villain just got blown in half. Let's see how the fandom reacts to that. So, with all that being said, I am your boy, the Anime G. I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. And take care and peace.